Well, they finally did the Aldebaran reveal in ReZero, but they did it in the worst possible way imaginable. What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, if you remember from an old video previously, I was talking about Aldebaran and cut content in ReZero, and how cutting so much of his content from season 1 is going to negatively hurt the anime once we get further along into the series and we get more stuff with Aldebaran. Well, that is finally coming to fruition today because Aldebaran's backstory and more about him and him being, spoiler alert, isekai'd from Japan just like Subaru got revealed today. But you're like, wait a minute, an episode didn't come out today. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, it got revealed in a chibi short that's going to be coming out tomorrow, but it got shown early, I think it is. Yeah, the thing that I was scared of most about happening is it came true. Aldebaran's history got revealed in a chibi short that nobody is going to actually watch. White Fox, are you for real? Why didn't you adapt this in the anime? Like, why did you even cut this in the first place? Like, this is the biggest... Dude, the more time that goes on and the more important Aldebaran becomes as a character, this has become quite possibly the biggest mistake and egregious example of cut content, because it's continuing to hurt the anime as time goes on. Sure, a lot of people don't know about it, and people are sure as shit not going to know about it now because it got adapted in a chibi short that nobody is going to fucking watch unless you live in Japan and like watch it like weekly, because there was no English subtitles for like a couple hours until somebody translated it. Bro. Oh my god. It hurts me, dude. It genuinely hurts me that they adapted Aldebaran like this. Aldebaran is a character that continues to get disrespected by White Fox. I can't believe it, man. Like, sure, we got like a few crumbs of Aldebaran's like history in like the most recent episode where he talks about one of the witches. Like, so we got that and Subaru clocked that because he's like, wait, how does he know that? But like, it doesn't matter because the biggest part of his backstory, the fact that he was isekai'd, the fact that he was isekai'd from Japan just like Subaru, they left it into a chibi short. Like, oh my god, dude, that's such a bad decision. And the reason why it's so bad is because nobody's going to watch that. No one's going to go watch a chibi short. I talked about this before, where like, if they put this into a chibi short, 90% of the ReZero anime audience is not going to know this exists. And sure as shit, as soon as we get to later content with Aldebaran and later arcs, and they act like this has already been addressed in the anime, nobody is gonna fucking know jack about what's going on with Aldebaran. It's gonna hurt, man. Cause like, White Fox simply can't ignore how important of a character he's becoming. Right? Like, he's becoming too important to keep cutting his shit. So they need to find a way to address this. Because sure, they can like say, oh, we addressed it in the chibi short. Like, go watch the chibi short. Nobody wants to watch the chibi short. Hey, or better yet, I wish could go read the manga. Make the manga more accessible to your audience, bro. Like, people, like the fans in the West, even if they wanted to get into the manga or the light novels, it's so hard to get into it because like it's not like readily accessible. I mean, sure, like it's accessible in other means, but not really like officially in any way. The light novel, as much as I love the light novel, no, like if you come from the anime watchers will never read the light novels. I don't think. Like, and it's not to shit on the light novels quality. The light novel is like the best way to experience this material. It's just that if somebody's coming from the anime, they're not gonna want 9 times out of 10 they're not gonna want to read the light novel with no pictures, no voice acting, no music. So you're already fighting a losing battle. And Aldebaran now is fighting a losing battle because he's still going to be he's still suffering from cut content to this day. Like it's just going to become a problem that keeps getting worse for him as time goes on because as we know, he gets very very important later on as the arcs go on. And the more that White Fox like doesn't prioritize like adapting his material properly, then it's just going to become very very like awkward when we get to that stuff in the material. But it just pains me, man. Like why? Like why do you got to do it like this? Like I get cut content. I understand it. ReZero has so much of it. But like you would think when they found out like how important Aldebaran is, they'd be like, "Oh, we have to find a way to include this somehow in one of these arcs before we get to that point in the story. Let's try to find a way to include this." No, they put it in a chibi short that no one's gonna watch, and now they're probably gonna act like, "Oh yeah, we addressed it." It's just so bad. Aldebaran, I feel like, will be a character that gets disrespected for as long as the anime is on. Like, I think that's the fate that he, as a character, is going to have to accept. This is that, like, he's just going to get disrespected the rest of the anime. The only way I could ever see Aldebaran stuff actually being adapted properly into the anime is if they do a complete, like, remake of the anime. And that's when all of Aldebaran stuff gets put in because they're like, oh yeah, this is important. We shouldn't cut literally every important line of dialogue for Aldebaran in season 1 and like not have him just like stand there. Because like if you go back and watch season 1, like he talks to Subaru a little bit in like season 1, and then when they're all like at that gathering, he just stands there and doesn't talk. He has lines of dialogue that he just doesn't talk. And like and they cut the carriage completely. Why would you cut the carriage completely? Like that's so important for Al because that's when the initial reveal happens. How could you cut that? Even back then, bro, White Fox, what are you doing? Like White Fox back then, dude, like there would be times where there would be like 10 episodes or more in a season where they didn't have the opening or the ending. You had at least like 6 minutes at most to work with in terms of like pacing. Why did you cut the carriage scene? The carriage scene should be its own episode. If we're being real, it should have been its own episode. That's how important the carriage scene is. It has so much lore building, and the fact that they cut it makes no sense to me. You just ruin Aldebaran as a character. You're gonna hurt him later on in the show. Like now, he's like now when you go with adapting that character, you're gonna have to like adapt it in a certain way, and it wouldn't be like this if you just adapted the carriage scene properly. Oh my god, I can only ramble about Aldebaran for so long before I start crashing out. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that, similar to me, that Aldebaran is suffering continuously from cut content and he as a character is probably not going to be like fixed anytime soon? Or do you think that it's fine and I'm just overreacting? Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'm going to talk to you guys next time. Bye.